Hi, this is Pastor Adam Edgerly from Newsong LA Church. Have you ever had anyone say this to you? Grow up. Well, actually, the Bible tells us that. In Ephesians chapter 4, verse 15, we read, "Rather, speaking the truth in love, we are to grow up in every way into Him who is the head, into Christ." According to the Word of God, to grow up means to become more and more like Christ. And Jesus explained what it means to be a spiritual person, what it means to be a person who pleases God, by 2 commandments. He said all of the commandments in the Bible, the 10 commandments and everything added on to that, really hang on these 2 things. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. So spiritual maturity is really measured in our ability to love. When we look at spiritual maturity mapped kind of in parallel with our human development, we see these stages that a human being goes through as they grow up. And sure enough, our emotional maturity is tied to our spiritual maturity, so that we can really only be as spiritually mature as we are emotionally mature. We can really only be as spiritually mature as we are capable of loving God and loving other people. See, an infant looks at the world as an object that's there to meet their need. An infant doesn't have the ability to enter into the world of another person. Our relationships as infants and even as children are often I and it. We look at everything through the lens of our own world. Even as an adolescent, we have a hard time transitioning completely into this ability to enter into the world of another person and really see them as the same as myself. We often have a lot of defensiveness, especially under pressure. An adolescent will have a tendency to take things personally, to have a hard time with criticism, and to be judgmental of others. But as we become more mature spiritually, we have ability to tell the truth about what our own needs are, to ask for things that we really want, even to tell the truth about what we think is going on with another person. But not to use truth as a way to get revenge or to manipulate someone, but to do it in an act of love. To be able to love the other as I love myself, and to speak the truth to them for their own benefit. We get a great example of how God does this as the ultimate example of spiritual and emotional maturity, but also how God gently helps us to grow in the relationship that God had with Jonah in the book of Jonah. After Jonah fights God about this assignment of going to Nineveh, Jonah sits and pouts, hoping that God will change his mind and judge Jonah's enemies. But in the end, God is so gentle and tender with Jonah, caring for him and trying to get Jonah to see that the people in Nineveh matter just like he matters. How about you? Where would you rate yourself in terms of your spiritual maturity, your ability to love God, your ability to love other people? We have an assessment that's made available by the ministry of Peter Cesaro. He is focused deeply on this aspect of emotional maturity and spiritual maturity. So if you go to the Newsong LA website, to the resources tab, you'll see an assessment where you can find out actually how you measure up on this scale of emotional and spiritual maturity. I suggest you go ahead and take that assessment. That's at our website, newsongla.net. You'll also see other ways to connect with us on that website. And then if you want more and you want to go deeper with us, please subscribe to this channel and you'll get more resources from Newsong LA. Thanks for tuning in. This is Pastor Adam Edgerly saying goodbye.